Okay, today we are playing a game on Rialto. We are in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Soldier 76 the entire way through. We are also on the console today, so consider yourself forewarned. Isn't it a monumentous day that I actually know what SR this game took place in? We're almost back on schedule. Not really, but we're trying. God damn it. One day we'll be back on schedule at least, maybe a little bit. At least not so horribly off schedule as we are right now. Maybe at least a little bit more in alignment. So we're playing Soldier, and I am going to nitpick something right now, which is that we should have reloaded before we started doing this sprint, because Soldier can cancel his reload with all of his abilities, including sprint. Because you don't need to do the full reload animation, because he slams the ammo in, and then the gun cocks. The cocking is unnecessary. Once he's put the clip in, that's it, the reload's finished. And you can cancel the next part with any of your abilities. We should have reloaded before we started sprinting, canceled it with the sprint, and then we come over here with full ammo. Instead of having to reload, we actually canceled it again because we decided to use Biotic Field right there. Even though wasn't really any need to. Everything's pretty fine right now. Now we want to use Biotic Field, but it's still on cooldown. If we were just going to kind of use Biotic Field in anticipation of taking damage, but we're still, like, fine, something better to do, and this is generally pretty good to do with Soldier in general, is just run up to where your front line's gonna be fighting, put the Biotic Field there, and then run away. So sort of like at the bridge-ish area right now is where they're most likely to be taking a lot of damage, because Biotic Field is a decent heal, you know, generally speaking. Yeah, we put it down over here. We're fine. Not really any reason to put that down right now. We're, like, all good and peachy over here. Did just sort of chuck the missiles in there, kind of hoping they would hit one of them, it looked like. But there were a bunch of people clustered together, so it's not unreasonable. You don't really have to worry about holding micro missiles cooldown. It has no utility attached to it, and it's a pretty short cooldown, so you can just kind of chuck it out there whenever, and it's fine. A lot of people are like, really want to hold their Biotic Field cooldown. No need to do so. So we very patiently wait to stop being on fire before we really poke our face out again, because Ash is still in the area, which is good self-control. We could have gone left, because there was a barrier on the payload, but it was moving away, so we might have been afraid it would, like, get whisked out from under us. Either way, you know, safe. So we've come up here because we're going to use Tac Visor. Unfortunately, they're all hiding under the balcony for the most part. We didn't really, like, do a thorough sweep before we jumped down, because we just could have looked over this way. We can look over to the left just to make sure that nobody is out in the open before we jump down, because we actually would have been able to shoot Toes as he was still coming over to the area before we jumped down. But Tac Visor on this map is going to be pretty hard to get huge value out of anyway, because there's just a lot of geometry for people to be hiding behind. In general, like, people are gonna hide under this balcony, like, even, like, later on, you know, over in the arch, lots of lots of coverage, lots of places on the map for people to hide behind. You don't get a lot of value out of Tac Visor with this map, usually. So I went back here just to be like, we could have put this Biotic Field a little further forward, because we put it all the way back here, but and the area ends right there. If we put the Biotic Field, like, here, this is still, like, really safe for us, you know, healing-wise, because it will still go, like, really far back, but then it will extend past to around the payload as well, which would just help the front line with a little bit of extra healing while they're doing stuff as well, because as it is, Orisa is fighting just outside of it, but if we put it a little further forward, she'd be fighting in it. This is the only real utility that Soldier gets to bring outside of damage, is that he has an AoE heal, which is extremely hard to find in the DPS category as some form of healing. So if you can leverage that to give your front line a little bit of extra sustain, that's good to do, generally speaking. It's a pretty decent heal, and if you got an Ana on your team, it becomes a very good heal, because the Biotic Grenade combined with Biotic Field is very strong. We don't need to be this close to the fight right now. We could be using the pillars around the tree behind us, or the wall in the corner, and be safer. Soldier's not sniper range, but he's only one category below it. He doesn't want to be right next to people. We could be standing further back. There is the fear that you won't be able to see properly around the payload, which is true, but you also don't want to fight, like, right next to the enemy team as Soldier either, you know. We have backed up now as they start approaching in, which is good. Very briefly, better target we could have shot at, because we were shooting in there. And the first clue is that Ash actually just broke that, so we actually saw that get broken. So we should be looking up there right now, because if somebody broke that, it could only really be Junkrat or Ash that's up there right now, and they're going to be better to shoot at than the tank that we can't even really see. So I look up here in case this person pokes far enough forward for me to shoot at, and even if they don't, I can just go like a little bit further this way and probably see them, and they're a more important or an easier target than just the tank in there. We don't seem to have even noticed that she was up there because we were looking in the choke point. Wow, that's really not recommended. He did that with some purpose. Fucking Junkrat here. Like, do you think he doesn't know Riptire goes over walls? Do you think he thinks that he had to do this for it to, like, get there fast, you know? Because he jumped over this wall with some purpose and then was like, he didn't shoot. Like, he didn't shoot right there. He did nothing. He didn't throw a mine. He didn't place a trap. He didn't shoot. He just jumped over that wall, walked over, and went, alt. Do you think he doesn't know? Did Torbjorn get slammed down into his corpse? Ooh. Ugh. Poor Torbjorn. Poor Tibbleborb. Just got slammed down into Junkrat's passive. Unfortunate. So tragically, we actually didn't quite capture that payload, or the checkpoint. We don't need to capture the payload. We need to escort the payload. I'm not really sure what our plan was by running all the way around that backside. I guess we were just going to try and shoot at people around the wall, like maybe on the bridge. Like, it's not usually a great angle because people like to just, like, push right in. That's the eraser, not the pen. People like to, like, push right into the archway. They don't usually stand, like, right behind it, to be honest. You don't, like, it's like a really long flank for a not incredible angle a lot of the time still. So, Junkrat's over there. We know. We're on to him. We're waiting for him. There he is. We got him. We've dealt with that problem now. I like that we did wait. You know, we were like, he's got to poke his face out again pretty soon. We didn't, like, start... Because, like, what a lot of people would do in that point is, like, I can't see him and just start shooting at the tank. Like, I'll worry about it when he pokes his face out again. Nah, he's going to do it again soon, right? This was very unnecessary. I do understand, the idea to get the biotic field over here to this person. I also know who that Mercy is, and I know that we probably feel a personal stake in, like, getting to this person as quickly as possible. But just shooting at this Ash would have been a much better play. Because we spend, like, Ash is in perfect view. This is a pretty easy shot to make right now, and we've got the micro missiles, which is already most of Ash's health. This fight's been going on. Like, we haven't shot Ash, so we can't see her health right now in-game. But she's probably not full health, and we spend so much time getting over here to her that Mercy's already dead. We do kill the Ash, and it doesn't matter, because we've definitely won this team fight regardless, but it would have been better to just shoot at the Ash rather than run all the way over to the Mercy. We could have punched him rather than use the micro missiles because we saw he was like 1 health and coming towards us. There was no other way for him to go. But at the same time, micro missiles cooldown is so low that I'm also not going to complain about it, really, other than it's slightly inefficient. Because, like, micro missiles cooldown is so low, it has no utility. You can use it freely. You don't really have to worry about it too much. Again, we could have put that biotic field a little further forward because we put it right there. But, like, we're pretty safe back here, really. If we put it more, like, up here, then the whole payload region gets to benefit from it as well. If you can put biotic field on the payload, that's really strong, actually. Because then the biotic field combos with the payload healing, and it's kind of a lot. So just putting that a little bit further forward would have helped our front line out again. Just something to bear in mind. You're not always in a position where you can do that, of course. Like, don't think you always have to do that. But if you can reasonably just take, like, a few extra feet and put it down, do that, you know? It's gonna help the front line out a lot. So Ashe is right there. I'm not surprised we didn't see her, but we could have seen her. Because she just ran all the way across that field of view right there. But there were a lot of people in the way, so I get it. And we do see Ashe, like, right there. Right over there, you know. But I'm also not surprised that we don't really notice her right there either. But she did run across the field of view. Either way, she's not in a position to do much. That took her a long time to die. That took her a long time to actually fall in that water, considering it looked like it was just going to be a slam dunk in. So we've got Attack Visor again. That wouldn't have been a terrible time to use it. They were sort of out in the open, but, like, you know, they were near a lot of shields at the same time. Again, it's going to be, like, we use it now. That's fine also. Could we have seen that guy? Because I didn't know he was there. Nah, not really. I saw his silhouette jump, but we can't see the silhouette in-game, of course. So, yeah, we got Shazam by Junkrat. Life is hard like that sometimes. Oh, we're getting revived. Hooray! Fantastic. It's like we never died at all. And we're already winning this fight as well. Here come a couple of boys. Oh, wait, did we cancel our reload to do that? I will complain about this. I don't usually fixate on the reload animation cancel so much with Soldier, but we are in plat. It does matter now. Yeah, we could have done that a little bit more efficiently. Just, again, we're going to reload, so we wait, cancel the reload with the biotic field rather than putting it down immediately. It's just a little bit more efficient. It does start mattering once you're in, like, plat range. You're trying to get more. You're starting to, you know, you've fixed all the broader strokes problems by that point. So it's more about the efficiency stuff. Because, like, we're standing, like, fine for the most part, you know. It's more like we haven't noticed some stuff around the periphery and we're not being, like, as efficient with our resources as we could be. For the most part, Soldier's a pretty straightforward guy, you know. A lot of it on the higher end just becomes about aim better and, like, these more micro optimizations with your reloads and biotic field positioning. So, we're running out of time. Marissa didn't really need to use Fortify to get out of that trap, but she did decide to. Like, that's a pretty important cooldown that she used for not a huge reason, just to start moving faster. We were gonna go up there. That's not a great angle up on that staircase usually, because there's, like, a lot of people clustered around the staircase, as we see right there. It's not a great place for Soldier to go usually. Again, we put the biotic field up here. We're not really gonna get to do much up here. Right? Like, fighting on this staircase is not great for Soldier because there is usually a huge collection of people on the staircase. And we put the biotic field up here. Unless they start pressing forward really aggressively, this is not going to be a good angle for us. They're going to be fighting on the payload more likely. They'd have to start pressing really aggressively. So if we're going to use the biotic field and we can't reasonably start fighting up here, we might as well drop down and put the biotic field down, like, down here-ish. You know, assuming this ledge wasn't here, you know, sort of near the wall. And then the rest of the team gets the benefit from it, because as we can see, there's sort of a bit of posturing going on over here as well. Because, like, we're not going to get to do a huge amount from up here unless they start pushing in really aggressively, which they also won't do, because Torbjorn just used Molten Core. Not Molten... No, yeah, it is Molten Core still. Is it? Yes. Yes, it is still Molten Core. It's... What's his boost called? Overcharge? Overclock? Something. Overclock would be more computer. I think overcharge. Oh, use biotic field at 1 health right there. Haha. Very optimal use of resources. Alright, wasn't us. He could have killed us, he didn't kill us. We only lost Baptiste. That's not us, that's the important thing. Boy, Junkrat's really going right now, isn't he? Baptiste got revived and he almost died to Junkrat's passive, and that would have been really upsetting. So, ooh, Mercy's on fire, biotic field's on cooldown, we couldn't have done anything. Anyway, alright, I was just a little spooked, I was like, she's like half health on fire, you know, not great. So, this is about the best angle we get round here. Baptiste just used the amplification matrix as well, so we get to shoot at the Batmen. Now we don't have to work nearly as hard to kill them. Would have been better to try and go for Toes right there, rather than the Orisa. The Orisa's the easier target, but Toes starts using Gravitic Flux. And we can still see him through the amplification matrix. If you kill him before he slams them, it cancels it. So he's the more important target right now, rather than the Orisa. But the Orisa was the easier kill at the same time, but just, I would rather go for the attempt at canceling Toes' ultimate anyway. We knew Bob was around that corner. Let's not poke around that corner. But, you know, we ducked out. We might have thought he was, like, behind a tree or something. Computer just, like, made the reconnection noise, like, 3 times right there, which was, a little weird. I don't know why. Nothing's really going on over there. So Junkrat's behind us. If only we knew. If only we could have seen that silhouette through the wall, because he was just stood perfectly still back there. So we use attack visor right now. That's fine, really. Like, this is a really bad point for kinetic grasp, for attack visor, because there's lots of corners for people to hide around. So, like, the most you can really do, like, is wait for, like, their barriers to be low health, but they've got double barrier anyway, so that's going to be hard to do. Or wait for somebody to be out of position, but that's also hard to do on this map, because there's, like, lots of cover for people to use. It's just a hard map to get value out of attack visor on, so, you know, you don't have to be super stringent about how you use it, because you're not expected to get a huge amount out of it on this map anyway. The geometry is just not very conducive. There's lots of long lines of sight. Like, we didn't see him. That's not our Junkrat. He's coming. Yeah, we didn't see him, because we're, like, looking at that boy over there right now. Like, we were just, like, drilling into his head. And then we're like, oh fuck, Junkrat's there. We could have, like, he just killed 3 people. That's kind of a big deal. But my tablet's over there. No, wait. That's in the video. Okay. Because, I was very surprised, because this is the cable for my tablet. It's green, so it blends in a little bit, but there, as you can see, it's not even remotely connected to something, because it's all the way over there. So when I saw the tablet come up in the corner, I was like, fucking, Ghost in the Machine is up to no good, but no, it was in the recording. So now, we didn't capture the 3rd checkpoint, not the end of the world. Rialto, a map where you can feasibly win on all of the checkpoints. It's just a kind of hard map to attack. So, no big deal. Junkrat's really going in right now. I just saw him blast over the top of us. We would have only caught, like, a faint glimpse of him in-game, so I'm not surprised we didn't see him. Now, I will say that we should be really prepared for this Junkrat to do weird shit, right? Because he has been doing it all game. When you see somebody appearing from weird angles, like this Junkrat has done repeatedly now, you should be checking for him very proactively. Because if people do weird shit once, they're gonna do weird shit again. It's just how it is. So if you see characters like Junkrat, McCree, Soldier approach from a weird angle once, they're probably gonna do it again. You gotta be, like, really conscious of the fact they could pop out anywhere and be up to weird shit like he is right now. Because that's just how it is. This is how, like, people like that, this is why people keep doing that, is they'll do it repeatedly and only get punished for it once in a blue moon, so they just keep doing it. Once you've seen someone has a predilection to do that kind of thing, just, like, check for them constantly, because they will definitely do it repeatedly. It's just how these people are. Fucking Overwatch community, they're wild animals. They're fucking absolute savages. They'll do all kinds of wacky shit. Zarya really went for Mercy right there. So we're starting to lose ground at this point. It's not looking good. We knew Zarya was low, and boy, she's probably feeling pretty low now after that one. We are gonna watch her get bonked again, because That's gotta have felt bad right there. Just like bunted right into the fucking micro missiles and then splattered against the wall. Yeah, that was fucking textbook right there. We're gonna watch that. That just felt really fucking good. Come on, alright, he's gonna jump. Oh, I can't alter your momentum in the air, brother. Fucking got him. And that's why that's why like jumping like that is really bad, because the Junkrat can do nothing to alter his momentum in midair except use the other mine. You're stuck on a really predictable path. Jumping like that's really dangerous. This is also why like bunny hopping repeatedly in a duel is also really bad to do, because once you've jumped, you're pretty committed to that arc. You have very minimal control over yourself in the air. So if somebody's paying attention and they see you hopping a lot, they can just wait for you to jump, and you're pretty locked into the arc at that point, so it makes it really easy to just track you. We got the missiles deflected right back in our face, and that didn't feel very good. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty bad. I wasn't sure if that was gonna pull anybody in, but it started pulling in a lot of people. So we lost that checkpoint, you know, such is life. It's okay. We still got a lot of map to work with. We just heard Riptire. There it goes. King Charis the second is it's just I'm just looking at that like no, it's a lowercase L. But it can't be, because everything else in that word is uppercase. So no, he did put in King Charis the second, which is an interesting choice. Well, King Charis 2. Not really, you know. But whatever, anyway. I was looking at it like, Charles, no. Can't be Charles. Not a Smurf 1875. Not a Smurf is a name that's in very hot contention if he had to go all the way up to 1875 to get the name. Which maybe you should just pick another name at that point. Who knows, maybe he was born in that year. People like to do that, you know, maybe. Who knows? We got King Charis in here. Anything's possible. So, we're starting to recover a little bit. Arissa's pushing in. Genji's after us. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, he got a really good right click into us right there. I was like, alright, this is good. You know, we had some self-control. Well, he's going in 1v6 right there, so yeah, he got Mercy, but that was it. We're thinking about switching, it looks like. Okay, decided not to. Or maybe we were waiting for the Mercy. If we were waiting for Mercy, we could have gone further in. But I think we were thinking of switching? I'm not sure. I don't know what we were thinking right there. If we were waiting for Mercy, we could have gone further out to wait for it, like, at the ramp. So this is the dream, right? Defending this checkpoint, ooh, it's suddenly a lot easier to use TAC Visor now, isn't it? They start pushing across that bridge. There's no cover on there, brother. If you're attacking, you don't get to do that, because the defending team's not going to be pushing over the bridge at you. But when you're defending, ooh, that feels real nice. In general, if you're a hero that gets to abuse long sight lines, defending's usually pretty sick. When the fuck did he get there? You're definitely justified in not expecting him to be there, by the way. Okay, there he is. It would have been really hard to see him. It's not impossible, because just follow the silhouette over there. He did come into view, and there very briefly, but you would have had some fucking S-tier awareness to pick out that guy in the middle of all of that. So, you're definitely justified in not noticing that one. I was, like, pretty flabbergasted by that one. There's definitely an innovative method of attack right there from that Junkrat. Like, fuck. I'm honestly more impressed he managed to get through the hole instead of just dunking himself in the water, to be honest. Like, he must have practiced that jump, right? Like, Jesus Christ, what a mad lad. I mean, it looks like we might have thought somebody was coming up that way, because this was a very an unusual move to like run all the way around there. So I'm guessing we thought somebody was going to come up that hallway, and we were going to head them off. We might have just been trying to get a different angle into the room, but that's not like a good angle through that doorway. But we'll assume that that was assuming somebody was going to come up the hallway, so we were heading them off, which is fine. So Genji just hopped over. Yeah, we did know. Okay. Not a lot of people know that that's actually there. That there's a little, like, gap over there that you can hop over. So I'm kind of surprised Genji went that way, because that's a flanking route I very rarely see people actually take. So we're going to use Tac Visor right now. Mercy's high in the sky. Genji started using Dragon Blade, so that's, like, the perfect time to use it. Because it's going to, at the very least, make Genji think twice about continuing to push in. So that's pretty much the best we're getting right there. And Mercy was high in the sky for bonus points as well. If only we knew. If only we knew. Oh, if only we knew. We can't know, obviously. Because I'm looking at his silhouette through the wall. But if only we knew. If only we knew. So that is a route to be aware of as well for Junkrat, because like we've seen Junkrat. We know what Junkrat's about. He's likely to jump over that as well, so it's worth bearing that one in mind. See, he's done it. The Mad Lad did it right then. He jumped over and used his fucking ultimate. Like we know what he's about. So that's definitely a route to be thinking about, even when it's only Junkrat and Widowmaker over there, because Junkrat, he likes to get to some places, does this lad. So we end up losing that checkpoint, mostly because of Junkrat. If we were thinking a little bit more about that flanking route ahead of time, we might have been able to stop him, but, you know, we're talking about a completely different game at that point, so, you know, just bear that route in mind as a flanking route, even if they don't... Hey, even, you know, Junkrat, we know, he shows up in some places, does that lad. That didn't hit us. That rock didn't hit us. I thought we were getting clocked for sure. What the fuck? That, like... Yo, slow the video down. Like, that's gonna be a problem, because I'm gonna have to push plus, and that's like... That's gonna fuck with it. Like, come on, what's the matter with you? Get going, get going. See, that's fine. That's what I was like, for pushing slow down was gonna cause some problems. That rock looked a lot like it just went straight fucking through our face. It 100% went straight through our fucking face, dude. Like, it definitely just went straight through, right out the back again. Well, I mean, you know... If only, like, I still had the replay. God damn. That would have been the perfect one to just, like, disconnect and look at that one. Past me obviously did not notice that one while it was happening. Whatever. Anyway, so, you know, we're non-corporeal. That's cool. That's a nice feat to have. So we got Tac Visor. We could have used it right there, to be honest, because, like, we were in a pretty good angle. Like, there's nothing super threatening us right now, because they're mostly short-range heroes, like Reinhardt's there. Toes was, like, the only one that was, like, super threatening to us right there. So we could have stayed over there and just used Tac Visor. Instead we come over here to do it. This is a much less good angle, but, like, all their shields broke, and they were really far up, so it works out regardless. We didn't need to reposition. Like, we could have used that as soon as we got it, because that was a pretty safe angle. We weren't really being threatened by anybody, and we had a good view past them. And at that point, as well, they would have had to make the decision, do I block Soldier, or do I block the rest of his team who are still in the doorway? So it would put them into an uncomfortable position as well. So it worked out regardless, but the original position would have been better than repositioning behind our team. So we got hit by that Earth Shatter, but we're fucking good. We're out of there, no problem, brother. Junkrat says, oh, fuck! I didn't know he was coming until he was, like, right in front of our face. Yeah, there's a lot of noise to pick out of that one, so I'm not surprised we didn't see that one coming. I was like, oh fuck, because I knew it was gonna happen, like, right as soon as he was in front of our face, and that was the soonest I knew about it. And I'm not playing the game right now, you know. So, we end up losing the round right there, unfortunately, ever so barely. Oh, 4:20 a.m. up in the corner over there. Good job past me. So, nothing huge stood out, mostly efficiency stuff, animation counseling, which I'll not belabor the point by going over again, and the positioning on biotic field, which could have, like, supported our front line with more. Got a little too close to people in a few situations, repositioned unnecessarily, like, went out of our way a few times, but, like, nothing, like, massively huge stands out, other than, like, the few times we got, like, way too close. I spent a lot of time repositioning, but, like, the far more common one was efficiency stuff, and we'll not beat the point on that one any more than we already have, so there you go. I do actually still have the email for this one, so let me just double check that there wasn't anything in there. There's the video, it's down here. When I switch targets all the time, is there a way to reduce that happening? Let me read the last part. One thing I did notice watching it back is that sometimes I feel I'm too all over the place and that I switch targets all the time. Is there a way to reduce that happening? I know that I shouldn't, but in the heat of the moment, it's hard to stop the habit. I didn't really notice that as standing out massively. In fact, the few times I did really talk about targets, the targets was like, should have been changing the target. Like, the best way to, I guess the best way to try and reduce it is to just sort of like, look at their team and try and figure out like who the highest priority targets are in your mind, ahead of time. So then, if you look at their team and you know what their team comp is, you can sort of figure out in your mind who your highest priority targets are. So then you will be more it's more of a subconscious thing, but if you know what their team is and you sort of figure out, all right, who am I trying to kill the most on their team? It triggers this effect in your mind where you'll be more consciously looking for the high priority targets, or subconsciously looking for the higher priority targets. So, like, there's that, but, like, even then, like, who you should be targeting in a fight can shift really rapidly throughout. Like, this was a very chaotic game, to be honest, so the more chaotic a game is, the more likely you are to be switching targets frequently in the middle of a fight, because when you have shit like flankers on the enemy team and divers on the enemy team, and like a weird flanker like Junkrat in on it and all as well, like you got like Junkrat popping out of fucking every corner, it feels like. Like the game was like pretty chaotic for the most part, so you're gonna switch targets more often in that kind of situation anyway. If your both teams are playing like pretty boring comps, then you'll be switching targets a lot less, because you'll only ever really have a couple of people open to you at any one time. Because like if you're both playing like pretty boring-ish comps where you're just like Rhine, Road, like Ashe, Hanzo, something like that, you know, you're not really ever going to see more than a couple of people, and you're going to spend a lot of time just like shooting shields and tanks while you're waiting for a squishy to come out into the open. But in a game like that, like this game, you know, like Ashe is appearing like above us, Junkrat's coming around us from every fucking other corner in the game. Sometimes he pops out of our own back pocket at us. You know, they've got like, they had like shield tanks, but the shield tank, like their tanks were in weird positions a lot of the time, where the Orisa and the Sigma were like miles apart from each other at points, like kind of fighting in like two different locations. Like, the game was really chaotic anyway, so you will switch targets more often in that kind of game. So, you know, in this kind of game, don't worry about it too much. It's a fairly expected thing that will happen in a chaotic game. Like, alright, I'm gonna shoot at the tank. Oh, fuck, there goes Junkrat. Whoa, hold on a second, there goes Moira. Oh, fuck, Junkrat's coming at me now. Oh, fuck, there comes Genji. Right? Like, but of other games, it's just like, alright, I shoot at their front line, I pressure the shield, you know. So don't worry about it too much. Like, watching this game through, it never, like, for the most part, it didn't really feel like the target selection was bad. There were a couple points where I was like, should be looking for Ashe up there, should have focused Sigma instead, but those are the only parts that really, like, stood out to me. Everything else felt kind of expected for the game. So there you go. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, more than happy to answer. If you felt I answered your question from the email inadequately, please let me know and I will try to expand further. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. EST to 11 EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. If you managed to make it all the way through the video and someone still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future, and I hope you found the video helpful.